There are many softwares that people use to build websites. As a web developer myself, I personally launched over 80 websites this week and a lot more before that. So I wanted to go over exactly what softwares you should be using to build your website and some pros and cons to each of these softwares. First up, I want to go over WordPress. So this is by far the most popular software on the market. I think it powers like 40% or 50% of the entire internet. So if you actually look at most of the biggest companies in the world, they do use WordPress. It's not because it's inherently better, but it's because it's a little more open source. You can do pretty much anything you want with it, which does mean it has its complications. If you actually are technologically proficient or have a team that knows how to use softwares like this, go ahead and use WordPress. It's pretty much compatible with any sort of plugin or software you would want. Definitely a good option for most people. It's what most people have chosen. Now, I should definitely mention that there are some major cons to WordPress, particularly with how hard it is to use. So the software is about 20 plus years old. So if you're not as technologically proficient and struggle with using softwares like this, there are some better options for you. So I would definitely be aware of that if you struggle to build and with this sort of stuff. Next, I want to talk about Webflow. Now, this is a little bit newer of a software, but I think it's honestly blown up in the industry. And you'll see most web designers nowadays are recommending Webflow as an alternative, especially to WordPress, because it has the compatibility with plugins. It looks good. You can use it across many different industries. You know, I see people in tech, finance, construction even, general service business owners, all switching to Webflow. So it is a great option if you're looking for, the best bang for your buck. Webflow is a great software and there are a lot of pros to it. One thing, for example, is that it usually produces really high-end, great feel websites. So if you're looking for your site to look good from a design perspective, definitely recommend it. It does the job super well. Another thing is, compared to other softwares that we'll go into, it's pretty compatible with most of the plugins you're going to want. So besides the fact that it performs well, it works well with other softwares. And the third major pro is that it's a pretty well-known software at this point. It's not like some of the other softwares we're going to get into where if you're switching between agencies or freelancers, they don't know how to use it or aren't certified with it. So definitely a great option within the industry to look at. The main con with Webflow is that it has a little bit of a learning curve, just like in WordPress and some of these other softwares. So if you're not as technologically proficient or you're still trying to learn this stuff, or you're switching between agencies, just keep in mind that it is a little bit harder to use. But once you understand the basics, it's definitely a great software. Now, the next software I want to go into is big for any e-commerce business. So Shopify, if you haven't heard of them, huge company. I'm just going to leave it at, if you are an e-commerce business, use Shopify. I've looked at all these different softwares. I've personally run e-commerce businesses through Wix and Squarespace and other different softwares that have plugins, but it's not really the main thing. I think if you are an e-commerce business, this software makes it super easy. All the plugins, the back end of it to make sure the orders and everything go through, the customer support, it's all built for an e-commerce business. Some famous examples are like Gymshark. They still run their store through Shopify and they could choose any software in the entire world. The main con, I guess, of Shopify, which is kind of a pro in a way, is that if you don't fit their target demographic, it's not going to work well for you. Now, I've seen a bunch of different service business owners try to fit their kind of mold of their business into the Shopify platform. It doesn't really work as well. I think they do advertise that they can do these sorts of business models, but again, I think it's really for someone who's trying to sell products or any sort of e-commerce thing online. Next, we're going to bundle together two of some of the most famous softwares in the world, Wix and Squarespace. Both of these I put together because they're kind of considered competitors and they do kind of the same stuff. And have most of the same features. Pretty much any sort of business can use these softwares. Again, they do actually have e-commerce plugins, any other plugin that you might want, and a bunch of different templates to choose from. As a big pro to these sort of softwares, it really does fit the mold for any sort of business. At MainPixel, we're currently the highest ranked sort of partner that you could be for Wix. So we're super familiar with that platform and have a lot of our clients run their businesses through Wix. So I will say that these softwares are great for one, simplicity. They have a super easy to use drag and drop interface that's super intuitive and you can pick it up pretty quickly. Two, I think they do a really good job at having an endless amount of templates that you can choose from. So you don't actually have to build everything from scratch. You can choose from their entire template marketplace. Three is that it's probably two of the most well-known softwares in the world. Behind WordPress, I would say these are two of the most famous ones that you would hear about. So most of the designers or agencies that you'll be working with are going to be pretty competent with these. And if they're not, they can pick it up rather quickly. Now, a pro that super quickly becomes a con is the drag and drop interface that both Squarespace and Wix has. So, for example, you could be editing an item like a piece of text on a website, and then you accidentally drag it a little bit off the side of the screen, and then you go to mobile and it's not even there. Another con to both of these softwares is most people don't look at them as professional. I've had many conversations with business owners who actually know their stuff in marketing and don't look too highly upon Wix or Squarespace and kind of look at them as beginner solutions. Another major con is how similar these Wix and Squarespace websites can look. If you've seen a bunch of Wix websites, you can catch the pattern pretty easily. If you will have designers or anyone competent looking at your site, definitely make sure that you should edit it and not just kind of leave it to the normal formatting and the style that these Wix websites kind of move to, and same with Squarespace. Another quick website builder which I want to go over is using a site like GoDaddy or Namecheap. These softwares that kind of matured selling mainly domains and other kind of email services that kind of have a website builder aspect to them. I don't want to spend too much time with these services because we personally don't recommend them. For the same con as, Wix and Squarespace, anyone can tell if it's made by the GoDaddy or the Namecheap website generator pretty quickly, and I don't really see them as professional. I do think it's a great option for beginners looking to just get something online, and they're pretty affordable. However, I don't think I recommend it for most business owners who are actually looking to take their business to the next level. Now, the next one I want to go over is huge if you're a marketing agency, a creative, you have a portfolio of any sort. It's called Framer. It's one of the next biggest web development softwares in my opinion, and we personally are shifting a lot of our clients from these other softwares to Framer. The first pro I'd like to go over is that it was made for designers. It's made to look good. It even says the website builder loved by designers, and they meant it. That's kind of like their mission statement. Important to keep in mind that if you're prioritizing the look and feel of your website and you want to display something really beautifully, this is definitely a great software for you. The second pro is that it's a really new software. So their community is super tight knit. It's pretty easy to get a hold of their design team and their customer support reps. And every single day they're making different adjustments to better their software. So they're definitely willing to work with you. Third, they have a great template marketplace. You could really go in and pick from all their different options, and they really actually do a great job at making it pretty easy to use the software. The one main con with Framer, which was a pro, is that it's a little bit newer of a software. Because it's a newer software, they don't have as many plugin features that WordPress does, which has like seemingly an infinite amount. They're still changing things and fixing bugs every single day with the software. And third, most of the people you'll be working with, agencies, freelancers, designers in general, they might be familiar with it, but they probably aren't because it's newer. Especially if you're talking to business owners who aren't technologically proficient, they probably have heard of WordPress, they probably know Shopify, even Wix or Squarespace, but they probably don't know Framer. Now, the last one I want to talk about is a little bit different. When most people think of their CRM, they do not think of a website builder. However, most popular CRMs like HubSpot already have this feature within their software. Even big names in the marketing and sales space like Alex Hormozi and his company Acquisition.com has their entire website through the HubSpot website builder. Now, what is the reason for this? There are a few major pros to the software. The biggest notable pro is that all of your sales and marketing data could be in one portal. Now, if you have your stuff through Wix, for example, and you're running your CRM through HubSpot, you're going to have to link the two, and there's going to be a few different things you're going to have to do. It's going to be a little more complex, and the data probably won't be as good. However, if you have your website through HubSpot and your sales data through HubSpot, it makes it way easier to navigate the entire landscape. So if lead gen through your website is a priority for your business, then you could definitely look at HubSpot because it might be a great option for you. However, there are, again, some cons with the software. Compared to Wix, Squarespace, GoDaddy, Framer, Shopify even, there's definitely a learning curve to the software. So when you're first trying to look at HubSpot as a website builder, definitely have some patience with it because it looks different than any other software designer I've seen. The last major con to HubSpot's website builder is it's a little bit harder to make the websites good looking and have that nice responsive feel as in like a Framer or Squarespace. I think when HubSpot and all these major CRMs were designing their website building software, they're doing it for the idea of sales and data and really just the conversion process, but they didn't really do it with design in mind. So if you, again, are a marketing agency or creative or even service business owners who want your site to look really really nice, really sleek. I don't think this is the option, so that is definitely a major con to it.
So to quickly recap what David said, there is clearly no one-size-best-all website builder for everybody, but there are definitely going to be a lot of pros and cons of the different web developers. If you want something that looks really beautiful and has a very elegant design, we cannot be any more zealous on Framer, but if you're someone who wants more data and that is way more valuable to your company, building your company's website through HubSpot or another CRM might be a lot more valuable for that. So make sure you think about the function your website serves in the business, because it doesn't have to check all of these boxes. It just has to do one or two of them very well. And if you learned something from this video, I highly recommend that you subscribe, because we post 2 videos a week all about how to build the best website for your business. And if all of this is sounding a little bit overwhelming and you don't want to deal with any of this hassle, we totally understand you, because we are a team of highly qualified website builders and designers ourselves. So get in touch with us and we'd be happy to build your website for you from start to finish. So reach out to us at either MainPixel on Instagram, that's MainPX on Instagram, or MainPixel on LinkedIn, and we'll get in touch really soon.